I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it, a life.
Feel welcome as you continue interacting with us. And today we'll be discussing with the many issues pertaining to the Matatu crew welfare with the founder or the chairman, Mr. Bosire, who is on the show. The success stories that you just mentioned, they are pointing to a great future. So apart from maybe encouraging the crew to go to the Matatu, I mean the transport itself industry, what other programs are you having in mind to help them get empowered? Because we've had people having like real estate, others having other facilities that help their members to grow. Maybe you as the chairman of the welfare for the transport industry, what other programs do you have in mind that will bring empowerment to the crew?
There are several. There are many actually, because this industry has a lot of opportunities. But first, we have to create trust to these young people because they have lost a lot of money.
Sure.
And if you can get time, you can get more people to tell their challenges, their issues, where they have been, the circles, they have saved money, they have lost money. There are those kind of a lot of those stories. First, I want them to gain trust that is workable. There is an organization that is led and cannot misappropriate their savings, because it's really disheartening when you save money and you lose it. You know, people, it's not easy to work out there and save 100 shillings, 200 shillings. People really have to risk so much to work an extra mile to save this money. You know, people save to a tune of 100,000 and they lose that 100,000. You get? So I want first to gain trust. These are really stories I've told you. So these people will tell people that this happens, and the consistency in my programs, this is workable. So that once we gain the trust, the next program after now I bring them into saving culture. The next thing I'm doing a driving school for the same welfare, a driving school, so that we can transform the conductors into drivers. And who knows, maybe with time we can do a TVET under the welfare, so that because apparently, you know, when I was working as a conductor, I was working with a colleague of mine who is a boda rider now because he bought a motorbike. Who was a university graduate who had masters, and he was working as a conductor. He's a friend of mine, and today he has a boda and he's a boda rider. So we can do a TVET and we can get employment, because we can pull these young people, because a master's is a lecturer, I can lecture.
So maybe who are your current partners? The banks, you have maybe banks, you have insured this money, maybe you can mention a few so that people can understand that this is a confident welfare and they should continue running with it.
We have an account with a cooperative bank. That is where we're remitting the savings of members. And these savings, currently we are not touching that money. What we are doing with the money is loaning to the members, so that money is totally available for loaning to the members. So we are not getting money from the savings to do recurrent expenditures. We don't do that. And I really thank God that we have a SACCO, a MATATU SACCO, where we are getting small shillings for management fee. That is where we are getting the money to pay for officers and staffs. We have competent staff with a huge experience in management, and the openness in me, because I can really tell you without fear and contradiction that I've never taken anybody's money, and I will never take where I am now. I cannot. I can be a custodian, and my dream is to run a bank under the Matatu industry, because it's one of the biggest. And you see a lot of people have got challenges because the credit facilities, others, they are like they give you and they are like trying to target you as well. Once you fail, they repossess your investment. A lot of people have lost their investment Through this, we want to grow this one into one of the biggest microfinance and ultimately a bank under the industry, which I know with God and where God has brought us, and we can be able to achieve.
So basically, your main aim is to empower people to be self-reliant and also to help them grow from one point to the other. Are you maybe thinking of having like education forums for the Matatu crew? Because they need first of all to understand who they are, what they are supposed to do to be empowered. Are you thinking of maybe having education forums even as you think about partnership?
Definitely yes. If I was given an opportunity to and the resources, that is the first thing I could do. And God willing, this year, because now I'm 1 year, this is my second year, among other programs that I'm looking at is to get partners and people from the legal departments to come and educate them on their rights, the traffic acts. People need to know when to plead guilty to an offense and which offense are bailable.
What do you think should be done to ensure that there is sanity and there is growth within this industry?
A lot. Actually, you know, the entire period I've been in the industry, I've like studying the industry. There's so much that needs to be done. As a conductor, when I was working as a conductor, there are a lot of challenges. Even the commuters, at times they look down upon us. You know, they look like these guys are not educated. You know, they don't have hope. Because there's one incident that happened to me. There was this lady who boarded a matatu that I was a conductor in, and I was like, I think there's something that happened, and it was like started abusing me in English, and like, I'm useless, I don't have hope. Then I told her, maybe you are working because not necessarily you qualified because you got somebody to get you that job. I could be more qualified to get that job, so don't think we can speak English. And everybody in the entire vehicle, that 3 passengers, was like, wow, they laughed at her, and she was really. So there's a lot of challenges from the commuters. Because the whole system is too aggressive to the conductors, and we get the majority of them, they are frustrated. So they bring their frustration to the passengers. So passengers have very negative attitude towards the conductors. I could really request the government not to get more like people with academic papers, people who have traveled, to address our challenge of public transport. Our public transport can be addressed by us because we know where the problems are. Like for instance, one thing that I've been very optimistic and I've opposed before is trying to relocate public transport from the central business district. The reason why I say this and I oppose it, the CBD is for the public, and basically it should be accessible by the public. You get? And like today when I was coming to the office, along Thika Road, or along the highway, I think the ratio of public transport to personal vehicles was like 1 to around 2,000 personal vehicles. You get? So we must look at what causes the traffic. Why is it that the middle class, once they are able to buy a vehicle, they desist from using public transport? Where, as investors in the industry, where do we get it wrong? What should we do to encourage people to leave their vehicles somewhere and pick these public matatus to CBD? You get? So these are the challenge, and the government should not rely on the academicians to address traffic, public transport, and the traffics.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've just mentioned a very good point that the solutions are within you, because you're the people that experience the problems, you're the ones who understand the issues that you undergo. But I remember, if I can take you back, there was what we call Mishooking laws, whereby people were not able to follow. What do you think there's such resistance or some issues that are brought about within the industry that makes maybe the industry and the government to be in loggerheads? Why do you think there is always that resistance on such policies?
One, the consumer of these policies, majority of them are the workers.
Yes.
And at a time, most of the times, these people are never involved in this formulation of legislations. You consume, somebody, produces something and he asks you by force to consume it without your involvement. I think that's one of the challenges, because it's important before they formulate. And that's why I've said we don't need to bring academicians to formulate regulations or laws to be followed by the workers. Let the workers sit in that platform, bring up their issues, and then we meet at the middle. We can be able to have a balanced, because at times what has happened when we come up with these stringent measures and laws, what we do, the beneficiary are the enforcers, because now once they arrest you, whether you have committed an offense or not, they target more bribes, because again the judicial system is very expensive. So you look at this, I've been arrested, framed. I don't say they are framing everybody, but because I'm an example of what I've told you. You are framed, then you go to court, without being given an opportunity to say at least what happened, taking plea. Then you are told, like, give us a bond of 10,000, or if say you are guilty, then you are fined 10,000. And you see, we are working on a daily basis. You get? So you see, this process can take like a whole month or 2 or 3 months. So you see, how much am I going to lose? Let me plead guilty, I pay 10,000, or let me give a bribe of 1,000. We finish this thing here. So there are several things that we need to sit down and articulate soberly. And I don't want to be, misinterpreted to say that the police are bad people, but we have bad people in the police service. Yes. So we can be able to have a discussion and be able to say this can be done this way. Even the courts now, we can have free bonds, because if somebody is working for a SACCO and this guy has appeared before the court without by being given a notice to attend court, even the court can allow him, you come back on this so that we can hear your side of the story. So there are several things that we can do, but we must have a honest conversation on this.
Full involvement of the people involved in
the stakeholders.
That is what you mean.
The stakeholders, yeah.
And because now I can see the Matatu Crew Welfare Association is global and is bold. You can say it's broad, eh?
Yes.
What is it, you as a chair? What do you think are the best steps to take so that we can be able to incorporate? You see, all the routes, they have their own circles. But the welfare, I believe it was in your mind when people were coming and thinking about it. You wanted to incorporate everyone, regardless of the circle they are coming from. How best do you think we can be able to achieve this?
It's achievable. Yeah. It's totally achievable. Because one, I want to debunk on the notion that the SACCO, the MCA SACCO, is on that where we get the members for the Matatu Welfare Association. Yes. Any Matatu worker anywhere in the country, in the entire country, you can become a member of this welfare, because there has been a lot of welfares and they're not been able to address the issues. That is why you have not seen me, become like an activist out there jumping. And what I'm doing right now is talking to them. I'm talking to them because, again, I don't have the capacity, the resources. This is what we stand for. This is what I'm trying to do. And if you walk around, actually, like in the entire Nairobi, people know about me. We talk a lot. So we want to have that kind of sober conversation with government, without forcing people, without forcing things. We want to have a sober discussion because we want to have a proper transport industry, a proper country, because majority of us, we are young people. We want to live this country longer than our fathers. So we must come with the sober, workable formulas to make sure we achieve this dream. already it has taken me over 10, 15 years to do this. So where I am, I can confidently say in the next 2-3 years, I'll be in the entire country. Very positive change entirely, an empowerment throughout the transport system, the border, the SACCOs, because apparently I have SACCOs and I'm good friend to others, chairman of SACCOs, and they buy my idea because it's not about me, it's about those young people.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman, for taking us through the history, the process, and where we are today. And we are, just as you mentioned about having a strategic plan, which I believe is going to cover the next 5 years or so. Maybe you can tell us briefly where you see yourself as the chair in the entire welfare in the next 5 years, and what steps are you making to ensure that you achieve that?
Wow, that's a big one, huh? But as not necessarily as me as a chair, as an organization, I can speak as an organization now, because me where I am, I thank God. But as an organization, in the next 5 years, I'm seeing a very stable and reputable microfinance in the country, and in 5 years, I think I could be able to at least convert at least 20,000 to 30,000 Matatu workers, crews into owners. Because majorly I want to convert them from the wage earners to capital owners. That is my dream. And within that period, I'll have converted not less than 100 to 200,000 conductors to drivers through our driving school, which is coming up in time before the end of this year.
Great. This is very brilliant and very great. And with the support that you're thinking about, the partnership, the crew itself being empowered, we trust that you'll be able to achieve that dream. So we really appreciate you for coming over, for taking us through the journey. At least now we understand where you are, where you came from, and the focus that we have. And we believe that you'll be able to get more support, more partners to come on board, so that they can be able to validate your dream and be able to achieve it up to the end. So thank you very much for finding time to come over, and we hope for more interactions as we continue, because even as we want to continue talking about the transport industry and the way forward for the transport industry. We wish you all the best, and we know that we'll be coming back to celebrate the efforts and the products that will come out of the efforts that you're putting on board. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Asante sana na karibu wakati mwingine. Feel free to come, na ukienda kule nje ambia vijana kila kitu kina wakati wake, na they must be focused, na wafanye ile ambayo ni ya haki, watafanikiwa.
Thank you very much.
Karibu.
And we wish you well. Thank you, viewers, for taking your time to watch today's show. And we know we'll continue interacting more. Watch out for our next episode, whereby we'll be able to discuss more about the success stories from our crew and also the people who have felt the impact of this welfare. Thank you very much.